You buy the noise machine, you research the right stroller, you read about milestones, tummy time, sleep schedules, you do the homework. But there's a handful of moments that happen in almost every home, almost every day, that quietly land differently for your baby than you'd expect. Small things, things that look harmless from the outside. And by the end of this video, you're going to see your daily routine a little differently. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because there's a layer of communication happening with your baby that most of us were never taught to notice. Here's the thing. You don't need a class for this. You don't need an app that tracks bonding minutes or a toy that claims to build emotional intelligence. What actually shapes how safe and understood your baby feels costs nothing and takes seconds. It's not a product. It's not a technique you buy. It's something researchers who study infant emotional development have been mapping for decades. And it comes down to how consistently a baby's signals get noticed and answered. Some people call this contingent responsiveness, which sounds like something out of a textbook, but really just means this. When your baby does something, cries, coos, reaches, looks at you, and you respond in a way that shows you noticed. That back and forth is the whole thing. Not perfect parenting, not constant attention, just noticing most of the time. And if you've never heard this before, that's not a gap in your love. It's a gap in what anyone ever sat down and explained to you. Nobody hands you a manual on infant emotional signals in the hospital. You've been figuring this out in real time, exhausted, on instinct. So picture this, a baby, maybe 4 months old, lying on a blanket, making a small sound. Not a cry, just a little vocal reach toward whoever's in the room. In one version of this moment, it passes unnoticed, folded into the background noise of a busy house. In another, someone glances over, meets her eyes, says something back. Same baby, same sound, two completely different messages received. That difference, repeated hundreds of times a day across thousands of days, is where we're headed next. Let's talk about what the research actually shows, because some of it will surprise you. Here's evidence A, and it flips a common assumption. You might think a baby's emotional security comes from big dramatic acts of love, the vacations, the expensive nursery, the perfect milestones checked off on time. But developmental researchers who study attachment have found something almost the opposite. It's not the big gestures that predict a secure, emotionally steady child. It's the density of small, ordinary responses. Thousands of tiny moments where a baby's signal gets picked up and answered. And here's the part that matters most. This isn't income dependent. A parent working 2 jobs in a small apartment can build this just as powerfully as a parent with every resource in the world, because it doesn't cost anything. It just requires noticing. That's genuinely good news, because it means you already have everything you need. Now here's evidence B, and this one you might already know a piece of. It's called the still face experiment, developed by psychologist Edward Tronick. Picture it. A mother is playing with her baby, warm, responsive, normal back and forth. Then, on cue, she stops. She turns to face her baby, but goes completely blank. No expression, no response, just stillness. Within seconds, the baby notices something is wrong. She smiles, reaches, tries to re-engage, using every trick a baby has to bring her mother back. When nothing works, you can watch the shift happen in real time. The reaching turns to distress. The baby looks away. Some babies cry. Some go still themselves, almost mirroring the blankness back. It's uncomfortable to watch. It's supposed to be, because it shows in the space of about 2 minutes just how much a baby is built to expect a response and how quickly the absence of one registers. Then the mother turns the responsiveness back on, smiles, talks, reconnects, and almost immediately the baby brightens, settles, comes back to her. That's the point of the whole experiment. It's not that one blank moment causes harm. Babies are resilient, and connection happens in every home every day. That's normal and repairable. What the still face shows us is the pattern underneath. Connection sought, connection lost, connection restored. This isn't about the moments you miss. It's about how often, over time, you come back. So, what does this actually look like in a normal, imperfect, real-life day? 3 things: small, doable, no equipment required. First, narrate what you're doing, even for tiny moments. Not a performance, just a running acknowledgement. Something as simple as, "Oh, you heard that noise too, didn't you?" when your baby startles at a sound. Or, "There you are," when she catches your eye across the room. You're not teaching vocabulary yet, you're teaching her that her experience gets noticed. Second, leave space for her to respond, even before she has words. After you talk or make a face, pause. Let her coo, kick, or just look at you a beat longer. That pause is the back and forth. Something like, "You're telling me something, huh? Tell me more," said after a little squeal, turns a random noise into a conversation. And if you're sitting there thinking about all the times today you didn't do this, the meetings, the dishes, the moments you were simply too tired to narrate anything, that's not a failure. Nobody bats 1,000 on this. The research isn't about a perfect score. It's about the overall pattern across a day, a week, a childhood. Third, repair out loud when you miss a moment. If you were distracted and she was fussing for a minute before you got to her, you don't need to feel guilty, just close the loop when you do. "Sorry, I was on the phone. I hear you now. I'm here." Babies don't need you to never look away. They need to see that looking away isn't permanent. Here's why this matters more than the products marketed to do this job for you. There are toys that light up and talk back, apps that play responsive sounds, gadgets that promise to soothe on command. None of them can do what your voice does because none of them know her specific cry, her specific look, her specific reach. A toy can respond to a sound. Only you can respond to her. That's the whole difference between something that reacts and something that connects. You don't need the toy that claims to build emotional intelligence. You don't need the class or the tracker or the app promising to teach connection in 15-minute sessions. You need what you already have: your face, your voice, your attention, offered often enough that she learns to expect it. And the fact that you're here watching a video about your baby's feelings instead of scrolling past it already tells you something about the kind of parent you are. You're paying attention. That's the whole skill. You're already doing the hardest part. So here's the one sentence to keep. It's not about never missing a moment. It's about how often you come back to the ones you did. If this gave you a new way of seeing your daily routine, stick around. We're covering the science of sleep, attachment, and early language in the videos ahead, all the same way. Real research, no guilt, nothing to buy. And if you think another parent needs to hear this today, someone in the newborn fog, someone who's never been told any of this, share it with them. Not for us, for them. Small moments, repeated often, repaired when missed. That's it. That's the whole thing.